Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the best independent radio station in the world as far as I'm concerned. It's Thursday. Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Every Thursday, 4 o'clock, I get in here. 4:20, I open a big fat bag of cannabis news, and that is going to happen. I got some other kind of side news in there, too, just for fun, because that's how I like to get down. We got snakes on a plane. We'll talk about it. But anyway, welcome. This morning is Country with Trav. Then we got AI, Fred, spelled with a P, when a human isn't in here. And then me, Canna-Talk ND with Wilson, 4 o'clock. After me, Stinky Arts, Music Mart, Mixtape, and Blood Shrine wraps up your Thursday. Don't forget the other days. Those days exist. And there is content on those days. It's just not me. Feel me? Anyway, I believe God created cannabis for us to use as we see fit. And I show him props every Sunday, 417 Main Avenue, Antioch Church. 10 a.m. we do a recovery class. If you've got a monkey on your back or you've kicked that monkey off your back, but you can feel a little banana eater pulling on your pant leg, come on through. We believe the man upstairs got what you need to stay clean. 11 a.m. worship. I'm not on stick duty. That's good for me. It is gorgeous outside. I don't know if you guys are in the upper Midwest right now, but if you are, man, I mean, grass needs to be mowed already. That's how crazy. I mean, the cherry blossoms are tickling my nose hole. It's beautiful. We are almost into summertime, folks, and what a winter we've had. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook. 1,200 mgs of locally grown hemp whipped up into some comfrey, some colloidal. Just, you know, just a party for your outer body. Thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. Again, there's a measure signatures are being gathered as we speak. Get downtown. My boy Foster will be glad to take your signature. And there are petitioners in every town that's got a gas station. I don't know. There's some that aren't, I'm sure. But anyway, folks, New Economic Frontier, the bougie measure, all the fancy people are sponsoring this one. So we'll see. And apparently too bougie to talk to your boy, apparently. Actually, so bougie, they'll tell your boy that we're going to call, and then they don't. That's the kind of group that's running right now. I don't know if that's good or bad, but they certainly are too cool to talk to me after they said they were going to talk to me. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What kind of people are those people? Anyway, there is a measure. It's the bougie measure. Too cool for Wilson cannabis measure. That's what's happening right now. And again, if you're in one of the major towns, you'll see a guy with a clipboard. If not already, you will. And so they got to get 15,000 signatures by July 8th, which doesn't leave a lot of time. I've got news on South Dakota. Good news. We'll talk about that at 4:20. But are you listening to Radio Free Fargo 95.9, KRFF? Community radio, business owners, you a manager, you got a nonprofit consider an advertiser. Why not learn what underwriting is on a nonprofit community radio station instead? To learn more about what underwriting is, please contact us at our website, www.radiofreefargo.org, or at our profile on Facebook. Why not let listeners know that you support the community by supporting a community radio station like 95.9? And at 4:20, when I open a big fat bag of cannabis news, and it might even be sooner because I do what I want here, is the rescheduling has already got a kerfluffle. Apparently, smart approaches to cannabis. SAC, we'll call it. I'm not calling it Sam. Because my brother's way cooler than those freaks. Anyhow, they claim that the DE lady has not signed anything. So this rescheduling, they claim, is just all smoke and mirrors. You know, and so, but again, they're going to, because they're the group that's got to walk back all their crazy crap, all their non-approvable, it's horrible. Well, are we going to legalize it? Look how horrible it is. Well, how horrible is it? You know, tell me about how horrible it is. Show me a Kensington Avenue full of dope heads on pot. Do it. Find me a town that's selling the most, and let's find some derelicts, you know? No pants wearing up in the tree like, come and get me. Where are those guys? You know? Because I can assure you, if there was billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars being sold in Boston, Mass. of meth, there'd be some side effects we could note. and document. You know, you could say to me, there's been 16 blah, 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 blahs ever since they blah, 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 blah. Right? That's how that works. All right. Well, I think we're going to play another quick ditty here, and then we'll come back. And I got some fun articles to talk about. Take a little palate cleanser from last week's, whatever that is. I thought we were going to have the Mr. Bakken on. He said he was going to call. He no-called. We reached back out and said, hey, maybe you're busy, maybe you didn't mean to, give Will Dog the cold shoulder. Nothing. Completely ignored us. So it is what it is. Here's brand new Avett Brothers, Country Kid on 95.9. Ooh, Country Kid. The Avett Brothers. That's brand new on KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. We're streaming everywhere on this blue and green marble. We can get inside your ear hole, and we love to do it. I like to do it. Thank you for joining me. We talk about cannabis legalization, general cannabis news, and then this guy who tried to smuggle a little pocket full of snakes on a plane. I got a crazy little, few side stories that I feel like maybe you'd have to be on drugs to do. But let's find something for you. All right. This is from ATI. All right. Let me just read you the title. South Korean student eats $120,000 banana artwork because he was, quote, hungry. Which, when it comes to eating bananas, hungry is probably a good indicator that you should have something. Now, we get to play around with fun names. His No Hoon Soo removed Maurizio Catalan's piece from the wall at the Liam Museum of Art and Soul and then ate it, later saying he did so simply because he skipped breakfast. Now, the value of the art piece was $120,000. So, a hungry museum visitor in South Korea, they recently chowed down on a Maurizio Catalan's banana art piece entitled Comedian, which is an estimated worth of $120,000. So he taped a banana peel back onto the museum wall, which was nice. Okay. A video of the event showing No eating the art piece quickly circulated on social media. Now, here's what's crazy here. The museum did not take punitive measures against No, but instead replaced the banana peel with a fresh banana. Typically, the museum replaces a banana every 2 to 3 days anyway. Well, of course. Bananas don't stay good. Museum does not have plans to claim damages or press charges for being hungry. What kind of charge? You're guilty of hunger, sir. It happened suddenly, so no special action was taken. The artist was informed of the incident, but he didn't have any reaction to it. Now, okay, this isn't the first time a hungry onlooker has eaten Comedian. 2019 performance art David Datuna snatched a banana and ate the fruit in front of shocked onlookers. Maurizio, he goes, no problem. He likes it when they eat the banana. So he said his work is largely satirical and pokes fun at the absurdities of popular culture. So, now, let's talk about Catalan's previous works. He's done an American art piece, 18-karat gold toilet valued at more than $6 million. So, man. There you go. $120,000 banana eaten by that guy. Now, let me tell you about this, though. TSA, snakes almost on a plane. TSA discovers a bag with small snakes in passengers' pants. Now, there's a joke there. I guarantee it. All right. Airport security officers in Miami found a slithering. Man, we got issues here. Let's fix this. Okay. Where are we at here? Found a slithering surprise last week. A bag of snakes hidden in a passenger's pants. They found a small bag. They found a small bag of snakes hidden in a passenger's trousers on April 26th at a checkpoint. Okay. That's not good. All righty. Now let's talk about this quick. Guacamole Texas store's display of avocados break world record. And that's probably where all them stinking avocados. Okay, so a grocery store in Texas broke a Guinness World Record by gathering more than 311,000 avocados into a single display. 86,000 pounds of avocados, and to be exact. And you know how hard it is for your boy to get an avocado in Fargo today? It's not easy. And it's probably because of these freaks. So how about we knock that off and start sending some avocados my way? All right. Well, I think we're going to play a little music as soon as I say this. Programming on 95.9 FM, Radio Free Fargo, KRFFLP is being underwritten by Drummer's Journey. Drummer's Journey offers percussion instruments, hardware, electronics, accessories, and more. They have full service for drummers, including repair, custom building, and lessons. Drummer's Journey is located at Highway 10 East Mall in Moorhead, Minnesota. Their hours are Monday through Thursday, 11 to 7, Fridays and Saturdays, 11 to 5, Sundays, noon to 5. For more info, check drummersjourney.com. They have a profile on that there Facebook. Sure, you betcha, sure. All right. Well, this guy, it's Dumpster Funk, Dumpster Mental, KRFF 95.9. Dumpster Mental, Dumpster Funk. And they lost a member just recently, so I had to play it. KRFF 95.9, RadioFreeFargo.org. It's that moment y'all been waiting for. It's 420. It's time to do that thing we do. So we're going to cue it up like we cue it up right here. And then on the other side of this, chaka, 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 we're going to do it.
Hey, it's Phil from Canna-Heads. Like this episode? Hit that like button. And if you enjoy the show, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on cannabis news, local and national. Listen live on 95.9 in the Fargo, North Dakota region from 4 to 5 p.m. on Thursday. For our non-Fargo region friends, you can listen on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Now enjoy the show.
Oh, hello. Hello, everybody. How we doing? Everybody all right? It's Canna-Talk ND with Wilson, 420. We open a big fat bag of cannabis news. We going to do it now. Again, if you're a North Dakota resident, there is a petition in your town, for the newest cannabis legalization measure, what I like to call it, the retirement measure, because if it's passed, and I might do it anyway because I'm getting kind of bored. I'm getting kind of bored with this cannabis talk. And I've been doing it like for, 5 years. So it'd be nice if this just got passed, and then I've got a new title. I'm going to do a new show. Same time, going to do a new show. I've decided. I just don't know when. I'd like to see this legalization thing happen, but crying out loud, I'm getting kind of sick of waiting. And I'm not so sure me being on here talking about it's going to speed it up at all. And I believe I probably said all there is to be said. So don't be surprised, especially if it gets passed. If it gets passed in November, I'm out. I'm revamping. I've got a new show idea. It's going to be exciting. And I'm kind of bored with cannabis talk. I just am. I've been doing it a long time, and I'm kind of just running out of interest. I'm just running out of interest. So again, I've got a new concept, and we'll see. So New Economic Frontier, they're pushing the measure. 3 plants, 6 in the household, which is neat. But 300 megs of edibles, dude, that just ain't very much. And so I feel like, when they look in here, we're going to do this right now. Right here. Okay, so North Dakota, with their measure, flour 1 ounce, concentrate 4 grams, edibles 300 mgs. Minnesota got 2. Montana only's got 1 ounce too, but they've got 8 grams and 800 mgs edibles. South Dakota, see, this is crazy. South Dakota, now they have submitted signatures, and we'll talk about that in a second. 3 ounces, 24 grams of concentrates, and 2,400 mgs of edibles. Dude, that is insane. So, like they say now, you talk about conservative measures, like you want to say, well, ours is conservative, so the conservatives in our state will be more likely to vote for it, and sure. But in the same instance, when you've got, and what isn't established in this measure is what happens when you get busted with more. If you've got 2 ounces instead of 1, what's happening? What's that second ounce going to cause you? Is it a misdemeanor? Is it a felony? Is it nothing? What is it? And then are concentrates gradated? Is there a gradation? Like if I have 8 grams of concentrate, they're going to consider that what? Like a concentrate's a felony like they used to? Like if you got hit with a vape pen back in the day in North Dakota and South Dakota, it's a felony. So I had a dry herb vape to try to hit me with a felonious charge. So South Dakota going to be looking real nice, right? You just drop down, and then same thing. Like it just when you try to be completely less than your surrounding states, I don't know if that makes you less than. I think it makes you a decriminalized state in a sea of, legal states. Because 4 grams and 300 mgs just isn't a lot. It just isn't, I mean, even medical is higher than that, But now with the home grow, that's pretty cool. So let's see. So Montana, Minnesota, they flank us with pretty much the same, except Montana is 1 ounce, Minnesota's 2. But there's a home grow provision. There's a homegrown provision in Minnesota. Like, because your plants are going to make more than this 2 ounce. So this is only what you can hold. Minnesota, you can just have this in your pocket. All right? So I'm assuming that's the same with North Dakota, but I don't see any provision in that measure of what happens when you exceed the amount with home grow. Do you just lock it in the same spot you grow it? And you can have I just haven't read anything. So like I said, when you have edibles this low, conservative recreational legalism starts to look more like decrim. Because if I've got 350 mgs, does that hem me up? Are you taking me downtown? Am I getting handcuffed? What's happening? So when it's a small measure like this, all of a sudden now, it's not so much about whether it's going to be legal, it's about what happens when you're over the legal limit. Let's say you picked up an extra 3. Can you even buy? Like, can I go in and buy 300 one day, 300 the next? Or are you going to police me and say, well, you still must have some. You just bought some yesterday, buddy. Like, what are we doing? Like, how's this regulatory framework are you policing my 300 mig? When do I get more? Can I buy an ounce a day? What are you up to? And then, like I said, if I have more, what are you going to do? You're going to say it's like am I going to get a distributing charge? If I've got 800 mgs, are you going to say, well, he must be giving that to what, kids? What are you going to assume then? I mean, what charge are you going to put on me? See what I'm saying? I don't know. South Dakota cannabis activists turn in signatures to put legalization on the November ballot, so let's give them a hand. And that's good news because they didn't think they were going to do it. And these guys, like I said, 2,800 mgs they've got. I mean, this thing is huge. Like, your allowances are huge. So they've officially turned in what they believe will be more than enough. They turned in 29,000 ciggies. They need 17,000. But they got to be verified. But I mean, when you've got, what are we looking at? 1,200, what are we looking at? 17, 10, 12, 12,000 more than they need. I mean, if there's 12,000 idiots signing Mickey Mouse, well then South Dakota don't deserve it. But I'd say they're in the clear. So for months it's been unclear if the grassroots effort would be able to reach signature threshold, and that's the difference you see with grassroots and then bougie corporate fancy people with fences, and they probably got hybrid dogs. They probably got a cockadoodle. A cockadoodle, screw you, buddy. Anyway. I don't know what I just said, and if it is sorry. But anyway, there's just a lot of questions now with a fancy ballot, with a fancy measure, because like I said, these guys, man, what a beautiful measure that's going to get to be on the ballot, looks like. That the people get to vote. So, I mean, grassroots, man, there's something to be said about it. South Dakota kept just pushing, and now they've got that result. So today is the culmination of 7 months of hard work by advocates and volunteers. Matthew says we are very confident that we have collected enough signatures. Now, he says if it is not going to work this time, if they don't vote on it this time, he's done. So, Deb Peters, president of the Cannabis Industry Association, at the federal, things all seem to be moving in the right direction for South Dakota. So that was exciting. So, in December, the Secretary of State's office approved a circulatory handout submitted, a requirement that has allowed the campaign to deploy paid canvassers to gather signatures along with its grassroots. Campaign material simply features the state's attorney general title and explanation of the ballot measure So let's see. Adults say, okay, 2 ounces, that 12 plant maximum, double the prior 6 plant limit. So we'll see how this plays out. But I don't know. The state attorney general finalized a ballot explanation for the medical repeal measure. I don't know what that means, but shout out South Dakota. Now, this is an article, could reclassification lead to legal cannabis in South Dakota? They hope that it'll change the minds and votes, and I think so. I don't know. It's very common for a state legislator to tell me, says Matthew, well, I might be able to support this, but I'm not going to vote for something that's illegal under federal law. That has been, again, if you don't want something, if you like things the way they are, you're going to tell me, well, why in the world would we vote for something that's in the same category as heroin? You really want me to get behind something that's in the same category as heroin? Well, it doesn't matter if it's right or not. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. You can point to it. Look, it's considered as equal to heroin. What are you going to do? Well, now when it's bumped down and it's been proven to have medical value, and I can point to something, well, look, it's Schedule 3 now with codeine. A 4-year-old can get codeine with a prescription. Cannabis is in that section now. Beautiful. So again, there's all this walking back. So of course, like poor losers, they, especially smart approaches, SAC we'll call them. There's no way they can sit back and go, you know what, maybe we were wrong. Maybe it was all propaganda. Maybe we will like the money from our supporters by representing what they ignorantly believed was right because of what they were told. Because a lot of people, like, for example, Mr. I'm going to call in, but no, I'm not going to call in. And he's the leader of this current measure in North Dakota. He is a never have, never will guy. Never have, never will. And he's in charge of a measure that will and will allow you to have. What's he doing in charge? Why? And it's usually control. He wants to have his people in control. He wants his people to be in control. And I don't know, that's not great. We don't need more control. And again, when does a conservative measure just become decrim and a passe to the cops? The cops is like, yeah, I know you're going to lose a lot of money from the low-hanging fruit. We love busting these cannabis people, but people have soured on us. They think we're low-hanging fruit. There's all this fentanyl and meth. And they're like, why are you messing with my uncle? He pays his bills. He mows his grass. He just had a little grass. You know that. You know he can pay. So you bust him because he's going to take care of all the requirements that you place on him. Meanwhile, the naked tweaker in a tree, he ain't paying nothing. You got to catch him first anyway before you're going to put him in jail. It's going to be hard. You're probably going to get your shirt ripped. But they're just, the stats are too clear now, and they can't do it. They got to like woe back a bit. So they tell the cops, okay, listen, it's pretty obvious cannabis isn't as bad. People are mad at us. We're busting everybody's cousins and uncles for these small amounts. Meanwhile, have you seen downtown? Come on. We got to handle that. Why are cops dealing with that? And so this is kind of like a placate. It's almost like they said, okay, cops, we're going to have to legalize cannabis. There's nothing we can do about it. Your low-hanging fruit's going to have to, here's what we're going to do, though. We're going to make the measure so low and so conservative that people are inevitably going to go over this amount as often as they did when there wasn't an amount allowed. It's just kind of it's another form of decriminalization. Because again, what happens when I have 400 mgs instead of 300 mgs? Am I going to get a fine? Am I going to get a weekend in jail? Because that stuff is going to happen. Somebody inevitably is going to have more than that low amount. So then what? I'm curious to know what then what is. But then what isn't included in the measure? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't read the whole thing. It's boring. I don't want to, and so I won't. But again, when you make the amount allowed so low, everybody's gonna have more. What did you legalize? If you said, well, we legalize small amounts, well, that's what decrim is. You decriminalize a little amount. You won't get hemmed up for a little amount. Right? It's like a speeding ticket. What happens when I have more concentrates than I'm supposed to have? Okay? What happens? I'd like to know. And if the guy who said he was going to call in actually called in, we could have asked him. So I don't know what it says, but I'm not 100% pro New Economic Frontier. I can tell you that, because their word sucks. Their word's no good. So, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to get behind a guy who says he'll do one thing and then blatantly ignores it. And then has no response as to why. You see what I mean? I mean, that's the kind of stuff punks do. Shady people do that. They say, sure, yeah, we'll call in. And then they don't. So, I would imagine they would expect me to not think that about them. They probably think they're pretty cool, especially Bismarck people. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all think you're pretty special. Especially Capitol Hospital admin people. Anyhow, I digress. What are we talking about? It doesn't matter. But anyway, South Dakota. Everybody's just having to walk back. Oh, Florida voters will also decide on a constitutional amendment. Of course, they're going to have to get 60% of the vote. So that's interesting. South Dakota, they're going to be on the measure. Okay, following 2 previous failed attempts, Nebraska group is gathering signatures. Now, I hope those guys do it, Some of you are cool. I'm getting Bismarck flack already. But anyway, hey, Nebraska. Hopefully they can do it too, because they've been trying. One to legalize cannabis and another to allow private companies to grow and sell it. So, like I said, reclassification. But again, let me find this. Let me find this here. Where am I at here? Let's find it. Okay, anti-cannabis organization claims DEA administrator was not included in rescheduling decision. Kevin Sabat, co-founder of SAC, otherwise known as SAM, claims DEA head Ann Milgram did not sign off on rescheduling cannabis. Ann Milgram did not sign off. So what's that even mean? As the federal government moves to reclassify cannabis and put it in a slightly less restrictive category, the plot thickens. Monday, Smart Approaches to Cannabis, SAC, otherwise known as SAC, co-founder, He says, I can now say with full confidence that the admin of DEA, Ann Milgram, did not sign the rescheduling order, breaking with 5 decades of precedent, established law and regulations. So I don't know, what that means. But I just messed up. No, I didn't. So the Associated Press reported on April 30th that the DEA will be rescheduling cannabis. But if she hasn't signed it. So anyway, the drug report indicates that this is the latest development in a multi-year process that has ruffled feathers on both sides of the debate. And so I don't know. I don't know what to believe now. So Ann Milgram confirms there will be a notice of proposed rulemaking in regards to cannabis rescheduling. There's a formal scheduling control process. That process will be a notice of proposed rulemaking. Because DEA is involved very much in that, DEA administrator is personally involved, it would be stupid for her to answer on it. So they say U.S. Attorney General Garland probably signed it himself. Yes, obviously did. But the statute says he designates this to DEA. And for the first time, this didn't happen. Not saying this means it won't be done. Just saying this breaks big time from precedent. So I don't know. I don't know. So here's what stinking Sabat has claimed. He claims the cannabis lowers IQ of users. I say you're an idiot already. Ain't cannabis making you dumber, bruh. If you were dumb, you dumb. And that today's cannabis is 10 times stronger than in the 60s. Now, it is stronger, right? It is stronger. So here's a crazy thing. So Sabbath recently debated Normal on C-SPAN May 2nd. During the interview, which you can watch if you want, a caller, Luke, quote unquote, called in with a troubling tale about suicide and schizophrenia. Caller goes, I live in Colorado and we have rec and med. Recently, a neighbor of mine let me know that her son died by suicide after legally using cannabis here in Colorado. Now, they don't have the whole story. It's just like what she said it over the fence while they were mowing together. I was curious that she had said he had a psychotic break, and that is what led to it. I was curious. What are we saying about science on cannabis? What are we saying? And schizophrenic psychosis. And did the Biden administration consider that as it relates to the decision to move to cannabis to Schedule 3? Was that in the rationale? So check this out. The caller was actually the SAC deputy director, Luke. To set the record straight, that caller was the deputy director of Kevin's organization, so that was a planted call. So that's crazy. You see what I mean? So we'll see how this all plays out. Now, somebody with ADHD, this is from High Times Magazine, study ADHD patient MMJ use. Cannabis use is slang for that. Cannabis use leads to improvements in anxiety, sleep, quality of life, which I guarantee it. But as somebody who's trying to kind of stay on the right side of the law, right, I found, to be honest, CBN, bruh, is beautiful. CBN for sleep. I mean, so it's like, and that's legal. So I don't, it's like the more we explore and the longer you keep, the more we explore the plant's potential, it's just like, well, whatever. So, cannabis is often associated with anti-inflammatory, pain-relieving, and sedative properties, but given the versatile nature of the plant, which I've been saying, researchers are looking beyond some of the more common qualifying conditions. So, obviously, ADHD, it doesn't work for focus and attention, but it's led to observed improvements, which I can attest to, in the anxiety, sleep quality, and health-related quality of life. It just is. ADHD and cannabis, a largely unexplored potential treatment alternative. So, ADHD has an estimated global prevalence of 5% in children, 2.5% in adults. And apparently the diagnoses are increasing by approximately 42% in children and 123% in adults between 2007 and 2016. So, they note that the endocannabinoid system, which cannabinoids like THC and CBD interact with directly, plays a vital role in cognitive function, motor coordination, and homeostasis, which I knew that. And like I said, the first time I even came across cannabis as a kid, I thought, well, I'm rebelling, sticking it to the man and dad, and I kept waiting for the negative things, but it mitigated and just helped all these other symptoms of ADHD. Again, it didn't get me up in the morning, didn't help me focus per se, but man, did it help in my quality of sleep. I mean, it just did. And then my quality of life was better as a result. And then because I wasn't constantly in this ging, I was able to be a little more social as a result. So, there you have it. Now, this is from Mary Jane. This topic, Cannabis Cold War, how Brittany Griner's Russian detainment could change global sports forever. Again, you're listening to Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. I'm Wilson. 420, we open a big fat bag of cannabis news, and man, we about out the door with it. But next Thursday, you can get another taster because I'll be back in. If you missed it, North Dakota's got another measure. They're grabbing cigs. So if you're in any one of the towns that's got, I don't know, like a stinking Walmart at least, or a grocery store, there's probably a guy outside it. So sign it if you believe in it. Don't sign it if you don't. And again, it'll be interesting to see if they can grab the amount of signatures they need in basically just 2 months. But if they've got money, and like I said, look at the sponsor list. There's cash involved. Money makes the world go round. So it's going to be easier to wrap things up. You just throw money at it. The more money you throw, the more it happens. So, in a startling turn of events that has rippled across sports and global politics, Griner's detainment in Russia marks a critical moment. Griner's situation began with what she described as a mental lapse, led to her traveling with oil, a decision that would land her in the middle of a geopolitical firestorm. So the incident not only put Griner's career on pause, but also thrust her into an international spotlight, highlighting the complex interplay between sports, diplomacy, and international law. So Grinder's detainment quickly escalated from a legal mishap to a political chess piece. And again, there's still Mark Fogel still over there in a gulag, y'all. Get him back here. He was a teacher. He just used it for pain. Anyway, the U.S. government stepped in, indicating the seriousness of her case, wrongfully detained. And under the, on the tarmac, they did the exchange with Victor Merchant, who supplied weapons to everybody. If you want to do an uprising in your community homes complex, give Victor M a call. He'll get you a rocket launcher. But again, let's see what we got going on here. I am just trying to do it. Just trying to find stuff to talk about for you guys. So let's see again. Pakistan creates regulation agency to manage cannabis. Friends don't let friends jump through loopholes. I'm just reading stuff. Anti-cannabis claims, yeah, whatever. What do we got? No increase in deweys among young adults after pot legalization in Washington. Moroccan farmers are urging government to legalize cannabis. Minnesota Senate approves bill to accelerate licensing of cannabis businesses. Ooh. I forgot to tell you about this fun story, and then we'll wrap it up. Orangutan observed using medicinal herb to heal wound. What a smart monkey, huh? What a smart, stinking monkey. So, it's in Indonesia. They observed a large male orangutan self-medicating, using a paste of chewed-up plants topically to heal a large wound on his cheek. They observed a male orangutan who sustained a facial wound. 3 days after the injury, he selectively ripped off leaves of Atar Kuning, chewed on them, and then repeatedly applied the resulting juice onto a facial wound. As the last step, he fully covered the wound with the chewed leaves. The researchers saw no indications of infection, and the wound closed within 5 days. After a month, Raku's wound was fully healed. Who knew? Now, don't get me started about this guy's bong-making ability. I mean, this guy, he made a bong out of a banana that some Korean stole off the wall. Again, you've been listening to Canna-Talk ND with Wilson. Again, New Economic Frontier is the measure in North Dakota being pushed as we speak. So if you believe in the cause, find a petitioner and sign it. If not, don't. Don't. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it. Programming on KRFF, LP, FM, Radio Free Fargo, 95.9 FM is being underwritten by Flatland Guitar and Lutherie. Flatland Guitar is your full-service guitar shop and your exclusive dealer for Yamaha, Taylor, Paul Reed Smith guitars, and other brands. They sell guitars on consignment. They take trade-ins and have a full-service on-site repair center. Check out Flatland Guitar and Lutherie on Facebook or visit them in person at 1450 25th Street South in Fargo. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturdays 10 to 5, and closed on the Lord's Day. Now, let me play you a little something. This is brand new from the Fearless Flyers. If you like the drums, you like the bass. Here's Red Arrows, 95.9. Yes, the Fearless Flyers, Red Arrows. That's brand new on KRFF 95.9. Radio Free Fargo, streaming everywhere on this blue and green marble. I can get into your ear hole. Now, my nose is twitching from the stink because Stinky Art is on deck, so stay tuned for him. Mixtape after him, Blood Shrine, wraps up your Thursday. Again, don't forget other days because those days exist. I believe God created cannabis for us to use as we see fit. I show him props every Sunday, Antioch Church, 417 Main Avenue. 10 a.m. we do a recovery class. If you got a monkey on your back or you've kicked the monkey off your back, but you can feel that little banana eater pulling on your pant leg, come on through. We know a guy upstairs that can take care of you. 11 a.m. worship. This show is brought to you by Black Cottage Alchemy. Black Cottage Alchemy on Facebook. 1,200 bigs of locally grown hemp wrapped up with some colloidal, some comfrey, some ylang-ylang. Put it on your body, bruh. Thank you, Black Cottage Alchemy, for sponsoring this show. I'm going to get out of here. I got stuff to do. Stinky Arts, Music Mart's just, he's itching to stink up the airwaves, and I'm itching to let him. All right. So, again, educate yourselves on the benefits of cannabis so you can educate others on benefits of cannabis. If you want somebody to sign the petition, let them know that it's being circulated. Find out where it is in your town. I'll be back next Thursday, Judgment Day. David Allen. Peace.